Greetings. Well, today is day 4 that the book, has been available to purchase on Amazon. So it's exciting, and so thank you for your support, encouragement, and the purchase of the book. If you enjoy the book, I'd certainly appreciate it if you consider giving it a 5-star review on Amazon. I want to read to you from the chapter in my book called "The Day the Bubble Burst." Now, this chapter we do talk about from an investment perspective, bubbles bursting. The most popular one in the modern era was in March of 2000 when the technology bubble burst. But there are hundreds of stories of different types of investment bubbles bursting, and investors need to be aware of that. Again, economies, investment markets go in cycles, so people just need to be aware and keep their emotions, and again, focus on what they can control. But in this chapter begins actually with the literal sense of a bubble bursting. Now, the pair of shoes that I bought to walk in actually had a bubble in the heel. So on day 9 of my walk, that bubble burst, and that's immediately caused some concern for me. So I'm going to begin reading to you partway in chapter 10. As I wrote in my Facebook journal for that day, the last thing I wanted to do is switch shoes now. In fact, there was virtually no chance at all in the middle of northern Spain that I would be able to find a replacement pair to meet my needs and allow me to finish my Camino successfully. I decided that the best thing to do was just keep going. Maybe the burst bubble wouldn't create any other problems, but if it did, I resolved to deal with them as they came up. As it turned out, I would face additional issues because of the burst bubble. By the time another 2 weeks had passed, I had begun noticing a lot of dirt in my right shoe by the end of the day. This meant that the bottoms of my feet were experiencing friction from the soil in my shoe, and I was developing more blisters than earlier in my journey. And blisters are a hiker's nemesis. Only a week or so earlier, I had been saddened to learn upon reaching Lyon that Gary from Rochester, New York, who was hiking the Camino with his son, had been sent home after a doctor told him the infected blisters on his feet would not permit him to continue the pilgrimage. By the time I reached Sarria on August 15th, I had noticed that I could stick my fingers from my heel of my shoe all the way inside to where the burst bubble should have been. The hole was letting in trail dirt, and it was creating blisters. Clearly, I needed to do something, but I wasn't sure what options I had. In the spirit of phone a friend from the hit TV show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I decided to pose my problem to friends on social media and asked for solutions. In my Facebook journal on August 15th, I posed 5 possible remedies for my problem and asked for input. One was do nothing. Get a new pair of shoes was a second choice that I listed, and I'm just paraphrasing right now. Find some duct tape, and I wrote, certainly one of the 1001 uses for duct tape must be to tape shoes. But how would I tape the shoe without the tape falling off after a short distance? Maybe I would tape my foot and shoe together. Find a bag and put my foot in the bag to keep the dirt from my feet, walk in my sandals, or other suggestions. Ultimately, I chose option 3. I was unable to find duct tape in Sarria due to all the stores being closed on Sunday, but I bought a roll in Portomarin, the next major town on my route after walking an additional 14 miles, mostly uphill. I was able to hit on a method for taping the heels of both shoes to seal out most of the dirt from the trail and also provide enough adhesion to last a while. Even though I had to retape my shoes every couple of days, I was able to make it to Santiago de Compostela and later to Finisterre in the same shoes I started, and these are obviously the shoes. When I left them in Spain, and kind of just as a tribute for them making it. So it was, this chapter was the day the bubble burst. I think you'll enjoy reading some of the history from an investment perspective about bubbles bursting and things you should consider. But it was, again, that the problem with my shoes was a great lesson and was another gift of the Camino. So enjoy the book. Thank you, and Buen Camino.